Monarch Legacy of Monsters has just had its first 2 episodes debut on Apple TV+, and after giving us some promising trailers in the build-up to its release, we wondered whether it could become a new interesting look at the events of the MonsterVerse. Well, I'm happy to say that the show is delivering on its MonsterVerse promise, but primarily doing so through the use of its human characters. It builds its whole show around this, and that's something you couldn't say of previous entries, yet it still maintains a sense of scale. There's now a deeper importance to the devastating events or flashbacks because of this human angle, but there's also still enough monster moments in general to make you excited going forward. So in this video, I'm going to be reviewing Monarch Legacy of Monsters, discussing why I've enjoyed the start to this new Godzilla TV show on Apple. This will contain a few brief spoilers, so if you do happen to be someone who hasn't seen it yet, then I would recommend watching this video after you've done so. Before I get into it though, if you want to keep up to date on any of my future content for anticipated upcoming shows and theatrical releases, then don't forget to support this upload by giving it a like rating, subscribing to the channel, and turning on your notifications. But without further ado, let's dive into my thoughts on the new Monarch series. So before Godzilla first showed up during the events of the 2014 movie, Monarch Legacy of Monsters dedicates one timeline to the origins of the mysterious organization known for chasing titans all over the world. The show doesn't just display the past though, because it shines a light on the year after that original movie in the MonsterVerse, connecting human figures and family secrets across multiple timelines and generations. In just the first 2 episodes, there are hints of both the monster action we'd expect from this series, but also how the mystery guides a lot of it, with a compelling cast of human characters at the very forefront. It's exciting to see this kind of approach because one of the main criticisms that I and many others have had to more recent entries within the MonsterVerse is a lack of well-developed human characters that make you feel the weight of everything happening. Yes, the MonsterVerse has to be focused on the monsters and letting them be the stars of their universe. But when you have that added depth of humanity, it makes all of it that much more relatable and gives you a sense of care in the spectacle happening on screen. Monarch is Apple's attempt to really shine a bright light on that and make us more invested in the history that takes place. As mentioned, the show's primary setting is in 2015, focusing on recovery efforts after Godzilla's assault on San Francisco in the 2014 movie. We follow a young woman named Kate Randa who is dealing with both the trauma from surviving the attack and the questions surrounding the recent passing of her father. We initially think that the show is going to be interrogating a changing world that is adapting to one with monsters in it, but when she arrives in Japan to uncover her father's estate, one which houses a secret family of his she never knew about, the questions around Monarch and the secrets that add up become that much more involving. She finds not only an unknown sibling in Kentaro, but that her father had another wife and a pile of secret files hiding in his nearby office, all leading to Monarch's discoveries. After the initial personal problems between them, the duo have to team up to get to the bottom of it, alongside the tech support of Kentaro's former partner May, played by Kiersey Clemons. The other angle to this whole multi-timeline approach is with former army officer Lee Shaw, played fittingly by the dual performances of both Kurt Russell and his son Wyatt Russell. We get both a younger version of him in the 1950s and then an older version in the 2015 timeline, connecting to both trios of characters in their missions to uncover what is happening with Monarch and the monsters they've kept a secret. Standing alongside Lee in the 50s timeline is an underappreciated monster researcher researcher Keiko, and cryptozoologist Bill Randa, a younger version of John Goodman's character from Kong Skull Island. As the first 2 episodes suggest, they have to survive various monster sightings in a post-war world, set the stage for the foundation of Monarch, and set in line the deep issues that impact what we see in 2015. While there's still a lot of discoveries to be made beyond the plot of the first 2 episodes, for the most part, we get a clever hybrid of tones across these multiple timelines. The 50s give us more of the adventure spectacle that we'd expect to see from this kind of show, playing on some aspects we'd already seen in Skull Island and weighing in more on the characters that lead it. And then the scenes set in 2015 give us more of the mystery that makes the whole thing tick. By contrasting and giving us parallels to both groups of characters, it doesn't feel jarring at all, and instead works as an effective foundation for what this show is truly based on. Peering into the lives of regular people in a world where Godzilla exists is a great foundation for a compelling TV show, and this is exactly what Apple have a good track record for in recent years. They are giving us shows that focus on quality drama over just a repetitive approach to scale and previously used aesthetics. We immediately get a sense of that level of immersion when we see that there are designated monster shelters in Tokyo, and how the series cuts between that and the attack in 2014, with Kate feeling traumatized during both situations. It instantly tells us a lot about a human character, rather than just showing us how deadly the destruction can be while monsters are around. Now, of course, while the show becomes more of a mystery following this very moment, that introduction makes you instantly get on board with the idea that people are affected by events like this, and that the world would realistically have a reaction globally. It brings a more real-world sensibility to it, and it brings a sense of the heightened scale that we haven't seen from this universe before. Hopping between the 2 timelines further gives the show opportunities for stories to mirror and serve each other, and it doesn't feel like a gimmick here because this split approach to the narrative is organic to what's being discovered. However, the one thing that I will say is a slight weakness when it comes to this point is that in the opening 2 installments, aspects to both timelines do feel like they drag a little, and I think the pacing could have been pulled off slightly better. There's a good amount of time dedicated to the mystery, and that works really well, but then when we get a flashback scene or a moment in the 1950s timeline where a monster is discovered, we immediately shift from that into the building of more mystery. I get that they tried to pace it in that way as an effort to balance monster action with human stakes, but I do think there's room for more development within each aspect. When the characters reach one location, there could be more justification surrounding why they are there and what led them to make a decision to go there. What I'm saying is there's enough motivation to get on board with these human characters initially, but there's the potential for more of it. So I'm hoping that in the episodes to come, some of these moments will become more fleshed out after spending more hours with the central groups of characters. And I'm hoping that the pacing of it all will allow that to happen much more fluidly. Regardless, they have done a good enough job of making me care from the outset, and that is saying quite a lot when again the MonsterVerse hasn't done that to great results in the past. So overall, Monarch Legacy of Monsters is a rare entry in the MonsterVerse that makes you want to spend more time with the human cast, discovering their relationships and investigating their connected past. It's more interesting than just focusing on Monarch's establishment and their characters, and while they do play a big role, we find ourselves being drawn in by the normal people with relatable human flaws. To me, this seems like somewhat of an achievement, because in a saga where we've had a plethora of big name actors be wasted on screen in the face of spectacle, here we get the reverse of that, with mostly upcoming performers in the lead roles. Yes, we do have recognisable names in there too, but you don't notice it as much because it has you focused on the central relationships. Add on a minimal but effective use of monster action, and it gives you a mix of different genres all in one. At the end of episode 2, Keiko, Shaw and Randa find out out that Mutos exist in the 1950s, and Kate, Kentaro, and May arrive at a retirement home where Shaw currently lives at in 2015. We get two trios of characters coming together and the dots begin to link. And it's telling that a show's opening 2 episodes would be focused on that, yet all at the same time have the room to give fans a bit of monster action too. It essentially promises a series that is aiming to take the drama just as seriously as it does the spectacle, in turn making us more connected and thrilled by the stakes of it. While I think there's room for improvement in terms of the pacing of the piece, episode 1 and 2 gives me hope that the MonsterVerse can be enriched with more detail and intriguing characters that we enjoy following and unpacking. But that was my review for episode 1 and 2 of Monarch Legacy of Monsters. Apple is quickly becoming a safe space for large and small scale entertainment that provides more quality than it does quantity. With them also doing theatrical releases the right way, it gives me so much confidence that this studio understands what makes great TV, what makes great filmmaking, and how to distribute the two. With Monarch, it's another promising start to one of their shows, and I'm especially impressed by the focus on character depth rather than just the spectacle that we tend to see from other studios currently adapting big franchises and IP. Monarch, like the show's title suggests, is an adventure mystery that relies on its character revelations and motivation to guide it, with the showrunners and producers doing a great job of really centering in on what can actually make this compelling. I hope that it can continue the momentum gained in the first 2 episodes, because so far it's hitting the right notes for a spin-off TV series of this universe. I'm giving Monarch episode 1 and 2 on Apple TV Plus a rating of 8 out of 10. But to those who have already seen the first 2 episodes, what do you think of Apple's Godzilla TV series, and are you excited for all of the mystery that has been set up? Again, it's all subjective, and I appreciate a range of reactions and reviews, so let me know down below in the comment section what you thought towards it. For more videos on upcoming shows like Monarch, then subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like rating and follow me on social media via the links in the description. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been Cortex, and as always, make some noise.